Okay, so this recording is for my new YouTube channel, Embodiment Room. And I just knew I was going to be able to go live on YouTube on Embodiment Room. But it turns out that because it's a new channel, I need to wait 24 hours. So, but the show must go on. So I said, well, I am deciding to record this video by Zoom on my laptop because I like the wider view than trying to do this on my phone. So, as I said, this is a new YouTube channel that actually I created the channel a couple of months back, probably longer than just a couple of months, named it Embodiment Room, but then kind of not lost inspiration, but decided I am going to wait patiently for what this channel is going to be about and who the channel is going to be talking to. And long story short, I was inspired by a young lady. I won't go into all that because I've already created a video on that. But I am on this channel. First of all, let me back up a bit. I'll do that a lot, y'all. As you get to know me, let me back up a bit. I am on a journey of relaxation right now, of letting go of things having to be a certain way, on a journey of patience, and for this channel in particular, a journey of just something is causing me to want to just pour out and spill out my years worth of knowledge, insights, mistakes, lessons, all of that on this channel. And I was inspired by someone when she said, show your work. And what she meant by showing your work is stop showing up online in this perfected state, like, here I am, like nothing happened. You didn't go through anything, all of this. You show up in a perfected state and people get the wrong idea that that's how everything went for you. But just, that went hand in hand with where I'm at this stage in my life. And I'll be sharing just so much more about that as we journey on this channel, Embodiment Room. And before starting to do my videos, again, I got inspired to pour out, some information, and I'll be sharing some lessons with you with regard to that. I decided to do a blog because I love blogging. When I feel like I just want to get creative and, just don't feel like talking, blogging is an incredible way of doing that. But again, let me back up a little bit. My name is Lisa Scott. I have been online as an online business owner since 2011. And my area of focus has been the unconscious mind. I work with professional women. I have worked with professional women. It seems like that just had been an organic flow of how my life went. Who I ended up talking to and connecting with was professional women. And paying attention to the unconscious mind and how the unconscious mind is impacting, well, the unconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your day-to-day actions and what you're doing. The conscious mind is only responsible for 5%. And without getting deeper into that in this particular video, we'll darn sure be talking about that because that's what I talk about. But that has been my area of focus, assisting professional women to go into the state of being as if they have already, assisting professional women to answer the call to their soul calling career, by learning how to stop worrying about the how. And how I've been doing that is acting as a guide in assisting professional women to go into the state of being of their soul calling as if that soul calling is already occurring right now. And I do that in very specific ways, and we'll talk about that another time. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to pour as much as is reasonable for me to give on this channel. And I wanted to start with a blog post that I just did that I actually am very proud of, y'all. I'm proud of this blog post because it starts with, and I'm going to read the blog post and then stop and talk to you, read, stop and talk. So I'll be bringing that blog post alive. And the blog post is called How to Create a Successful Goal-Oriented Facebook Group. And what inspired me to write this blog is that I had, just generally speaking, the fact that, we can be in business and be online and share information at a particular time and space and time. And we swear up and down that everybody has seen that information or everybody knows that you did that thing. And there are, I don't even know how many billions of people that are interacting, on whatever platform you've chosen as your space to show up in. There's all these people, and we keep believing that what we've done, even though we've done it some time ago, is no longer valuable, as if as many people as were meant to see that information have seen it. At least that's what came to me recently. I was like, wait a minute, I did this group, and I'll share more about that. Did this group years ago. It had phenomenal results. It was everything that I desired it to be as I learned and navigated what I needed to do to create what I created. And, as I said, just because something was years ago does not mean that it doesn't hold any value. If it was valuable then, it's valuable now, or it can be valuable now. And at the very least, the lessons that you've learned, the insights, the whatever it is that you got from that thing yourself, as personally, as a business owner and just as a person, share it. That's what came to me. That's my overall message. Stop thinking that just because you did something a long time ago, or it doesn't have any value. That's just nonsense. It really is. So anyway, as I said, the video or the blog is called How to Create a Successful Goal-Oriented Facebook Group. And this video may be a little lengthy, but guess what? It's okay, because you can stop. You can go get your favorite drink. You can run an errand. You can take me with you in your car. Regardless of how long the video is, you're in control, right? So listen along. Okay. And today happens to be Sunday. I'm chilling today, so I got time. Okay. So how to create a successful goal-oriented Facebook group. So I started with, as I already talked to you about, so I ain't even going to spend a lot more time on that, but the very start of the blog says, know your worth. I always need to remind myself that even after I've already had an experience from years ago, it doesn't negate the fact that what I experienced as a service-based and conscious business owner still contains highly valuable insights and lessons for someone who has yet to embark on doing what I've done. So I'm sharing this valuable resource for anyone who's considered starting a Facebook group with a specific purpose, and if you desire for your community to experience specific outcomes that both you and your community can measure, whether objectively or subjectively. The following is the value you will receive from this blog. Facts about Facebook groups and why you may want to consider one. Results of the women service-based business owners who were in the group. What type of service-based business did the women in the group own? Why I decided to start a goal-oriented Facebook group to begin with. Some of my biggest mistakes. List of questions asked before you could join the group. My greatest insights and therefore impact to the exact results I was looking for the women that were in the group, and testimonials. Although the Facebook group I created was for the specific reasons you'll read about, you can associate and apply what I share to your own group and what you'd like to accomplish for yourself and your group or community. And what I'm going to do also is share, and excuse me, my nose just started itching for like no reason at all. So forgive me. I'm going to share the link to this blog so you can go on over and read it yourself and make comments. Yeah, so don't worry. Facts and why a Facebook group. Facts and why a Facebook group. Okay. According to my internet search, as of August 2022, over 10 million groups were on Facebook, with over 1.8 billion people using them each month. There are over 70 million admins and moderators running active Facebook groups. Here's my small share in that piece of the 10 million group pie. Let's start with some results first. Results for the women who were a fit for the Leverage Your Pain Facebook group. So if I didn't say that in the beginning, that's what the group was called. First ever online, well, something like 5 sales on the first day for her homemade soap. Courage to finally publish a website. Understanding the direct influence emotions have on business. Focus and accountability to meet deadlines. Work with other women from around the country. Specific group assignments completed. Support and encouragement from other service-based business owners. Podcast guest opportunities and better personal emotional regulation, making it possible to manage staff more efficiently. Types of service-based business owners in the group: hair salon, handmade soap, real estate, juice bar, Reiki healer, and me, metaphysician, spiritual counselor, and Psyche facilitator. And why I decided to start a Facebook group. When I first started the group, Leverage Your Pain, it was a beta project I created because of having had the experience for years with professional women online who desired to see their business grow. And from my perspective, these same women didn't seem to know that by addressing their emotional pain, it would make life better and therefore would have an incredible impact on their business. My belief came from my own personal experience. As you grow, your business will grow. So I'll stop right there because at that time, I had already had years of experience online. And I had a great deal of women that would come to me because of my presence online. They really appreciated and was impressed by my presence online, and wanted to skip right over right to the sales. Get me the sales. How do I get the sales? And what I had to stop and pay attention to within myself was, well, how did I start getting sales? And I did not just out of the box just start getting sales. I spent a lot of time and continue to spend a lot of time on myself introspectively. This is something that has been especially, well, it's been that way. I've been that way all my life. However, I think my conscious awareness of it just picked up at a certain point in time. And I realized that there's not anything that I've done in my life that I did not have to first introspect to understand what was, what was going on inside of me first, that may be a hindrance to something. And this is actually how I've been able to create my business and services that I provide from that business. If I see that something is off, I stop and assess. If I, see I'm not getting a result, I stop and assess. And I pay attention to my emotions. I pay attention to what am I feeling on the inside, and what is this translating into, or how is it affecting me outwardly? What am I seeing on the outside that something on the inside, an emotion, a state of being, is directly related to and connected to? And how can I shift and transform that so that it's working for me and not against me? And in my looking at myself and understanding, it wasn't just about sales strategy, it was about me. This is why I could not or needed to redirect people's attention, women in business, professional women, redirected their attention to their emotions and states of being. Now, very specifically, I needed to, as a coach, a manifest coach, and someone who is not clinical, it was very important to me to make sure that I stay in my lane. And what I mean is, I do exactly what it is that I do, and I don't step over, the boundaries of clinical. I don't diagnose, I don't prescribe, obviously. However, working with the unconscious mind has been an area that has been of extreme value to me for myself and my clients. And in creating this beta group, I just had a desire to, you can be talking to people about the unconscious mind, the unconscious mind, the unconscious mind. But I wanted to show an intimate group of women business owners the exacts about what I was talking about. And because we weren't going to zoom in on an exact emotion, I used emotion in general, because what we were going to zoom in on is the clues that you can extract from your emotion. But I think I'm moving ahead of myself. So I just want to give you a little deeper understanding into myself, and also to what was inspiring me to create this Facebook group, or this beta launch that I called it back then, where I needed to see the direct results for a group, and have them have that experience of how their emotions and the clues that we could extract from their emotions has a direct relationship and correlation to what was happening in their business and what was not happening in their business, and how we could change, shift that around so that they could increase sales. This is the process, not jump to the sales. Okay. So I stopped with, as you grow, your business will grow. And then don't get me wrong. It's not that people haven't been able to build successful businesses without addressing their emotional needs. But for me, it's been my calling and purpose to support women in holistic health, which, in my knowing, doesn't fragment you, the being, from the areas of life you deem as important, like family, finances, emotional health, spirituality, and or personal empowerment. My goal was and is to specifically help service-based business owners to leverage your pain, i.e., understand the communication your emotions are teaching you and how this relates and translates to who you be in your life and business. And I needed to, it says, determining from the beginning what success means to you as the facilitator of your group and those who decide to join you. Game changer. As I was processing all of this, I needed to think with the end in mind. And as this is saying, I'm grateful for my experiences as a certified advanced process improvement facilitator. It taught me to think with the end in mind. This doesn't mean you won't need to rethink and tweak things along the way. I certainly did, and quickly, I might add. But when you know what value you want to and are capable of providing, the process to getting there will show itself. What just jumped out to me right then and there is stop thinking that just because you're creating something one way doesn't mean you're not going to have to tweak and regroup or pivot. That it may be true that you'll be able to have smooth sailing when you get going with something, but it's likely that because you put your foot forward, you're now in the pool, and now you're going to learn something from there. And that's exactly what happened with me. Because even in thinking with the end in mind, I had a general understanding of what it was that I was trying to do, but I had never done anything like this before. So I guess that's important to say. I had never done anything like this before in terms of actually facilitating an entire group. I knew what my capabilities were as, and know what my capabilities are as a coach, as a metaphysician, as a spiritual counselor. I know what my capabilities are, and I know that I can show you the direct correlation between your emotional state of being and how it's impacting your business. I know this. However, the idiosyncrasies or the details in some of the things that I needed to do within that whole process, I still had yet to uncover, but I couldn't be afraid to take that step. So that's what I did. I just knew that this was going to be incredible. But I needed to ask myself, what did success specifically mean to me in creating the Leverage Your Pain Facebook group? And what it meant was the following: a focused and accountable group. The members knowing specifically what project or process they were going to be working on during their time in the group, so that they could either measure or know that they've come substantially closer towards achieving the result that they were looking for. Masterful facilitation, okay? Increased awareness regarding how emotions can be leveraged to work with you, not against you, in life and in business, and testimonials. For me, unsolicited testimonials during that whole process was something that I was looking for, because when the testimonials are unsolicited, the person is giving you their point of view, and it's really organically spilling out of them because of the results that they're experiencing at the time. So that's what I was looking for as a sign of success in that group, and that's exactly what started to happen fairly immediately. Some of my biggest mistakes. So, okay, it was all my fault. I was so excited about creating the group and inviting a bunch of my Facebook friends that I didn't realize how important it was to ask pertinent questions before accepting members into the group. And how did I come to understand this should have been done? So I'm all excited. I'm like, oh, we get ready to get it popping in the Leverage Your Pain group. Come on over, come on over, come on over. Longtime supporters and all of that, come on over. Longtime supporters of my work, seen my stuff on Facebook, come on over, come on over. And immediately I understood wrong, or that's not wrong, lesson, because I started to understand more deeply as I put my toe in the water, right? That I'm not just creating another Facebook group. I'm not here to play no games. I am here to show you that this emotion right here, what's the clues in that bad boy? What's the the clues that we're extracting from your emotions are like a GPS, and that GPS is like a navigation system, and whatever it is that's going on, it's going to act like a GPS, and it is going to show us what the next steps are, specifically related to your particular thing that's going on with you as a woman in business, service-based business owner. I'm not here to play no games. I'm not here to share memes. Do you know how many Facebook groups are out there and all you get is meme after meme after meme after meme? And those can be what do you call it? Inspirational to people, but what's your result? I'm a results oriented individual for myself. I am I used to teach something called process improvement. I'm an advanced certified process improvement facilitator. So I used to facilitate project teams in one of my area's largest healthcare systems years ago. I facilitated project teams, and I know how to take information, whether it's from emotion or from data collected information, and I know how to take you from what you think might be the problem, or you don't even necessarily know what the problem is, identify it and have it tell us what the next steps are. I am masterful at that. I am masterful. And so when I'm in areas, part of the reason I knew that I wanted to do this is because I was in so many groups that were not necessarily getting an individual a result. They were providing memes and encouragement and inspiration and all of these types of things. However, the end result was not what you needed as a business owner. And so was here at that time to prove that this connects to this. Okay. So, like I said, I invite all these people. We're going to get it popping in the Leverage Your Pain group, and immediately knew lesson. Okay, wait a minute. The reason I knew this is because, and it was still my fault. My lesson, because I didn't understand that I was thinking something in my own mind that I had not clearly articulated yet outwardly, which is why I'm saying that you need to prepare, you need to be able to be like a ballerina or dancer on your toes, understanding what your idea of success is. So I didn't know all the particulars behind what I wanted in the group, but I knew at the end of that, at the day I released it, was like, oh hell to the no. I'm not talking about this No, no, I ain't talking about just another Facebook group. I'm talking about a results-oriented Facebook group. Okay, Lisa, so what does that mean? And then who is not going to be present? Well, who's not going to be present now are the people who were lurking in the group. So I'm starting to, introduce the group and do all of that. And I noticed that people weren't even engaging as far as introducing themselves. That wasn't even, they weren't even willing to do that. That's how much I had asked people to come to something and didn't have a full-blown understanding. I generally knew, but I didn't have a full-blown understanding. But guess what? Guess what? In being able to act like a ballerina or dance and be on your toes, right? I realized what was happening, and I couldn't be afraid to tell everyone that I had reached out to, that this is how this is going to go now. And how I was able to do that so that people could excuse themselves from the group, because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm used to yet another meme filled group that isn't gonna have me doing assignments and all this, that, and the other. I'm exiting. And boy, did they exit. And boy, am I glad that they exited. So it wasn't so many people that it wasn't manageable for me to go into people's inboxes and tell them I apologize. Here's how this should have gone. Um, Here's what I'm doing to correct it. If you feel like this is something that you need or that you resonate with, come on over and join us. If you don't, no hard feelings. I apologize. Let's keep it moving. And everyone was absolutely gracious about it. No harm done. See you on the next go round or whatever. See you when I see you. That was it. That's how that went. So it wasn't a matter of, oh my God, what have I done? Oh my goodness, let me stop right here. Let me not do it. No. And this is what I want to talk about on this channel. This is what I want to share with you, that not everything that ends up being successful is successful because it just went smoothly and just all wonderful and you had dust in the air, just no, this was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Oh my God, but redirect quickly, Lisa. Redirect. Come on, girl. Let's come on. Think about what you really want versus what you were saying or didn't say. Let's get it together, right? So, how did I come to understand? Let me back up a little bit. So I said, okay, it was all my fault. I was so excited about creating the group and inviting a bunch of my Facebook friends that I didn't realize how important it was to ask pertinent questions before accepting members into the group. How did I come to understand this should have been done? Because I initially had a bunch of women in the group just lurking and not participating. Hell to the no. No. This is what also let me know to make the group private or secret. Okay, so I still had to decide what's the difference between private and secret, all of that. So the list of questions asked to allow access to the group, and the questions were based on my goal, my objective. What was the outcome I was looking for, and who was I looking, what type of participation was I looking for people to have and agree with having in order to make this a valuable experience. So first things first, even if someone was referred to the group, if they did not answer the questions, they could not enter the group. I don't know. I said period, period, because I did have a person or two that saw the value in the group and they would refer someone, but yet when it came time for those people to answer the questions, they weren't answering. So it was like, I don't know where they do that at, that you think you're going to override my process and get in here just because somebody referred you. You still have to be appropriate this has to be a good match for both you and the group. So I don't know where you do that at, where you think you're going to bypass the questions, but that didn't happen. So had to share that. So here are the questions that were important to participation in the group. First of all, you had to have a service-based business, right? Or at least thought you had one. So what is your service-based business? So I'm sorry, you had to have a service-based business, okay? Are you ready and willing to engage in a group that has discussion about emotion? What would you be doing in this group if I tell you that this is what the group is about? Because now I had cleaned it all up. I told you what we're doing, all of that. What would you be doing here if you're not willing or not ready and willing to engage in the very thing that I'm telling you the group is about? So that's what that question was for. And then you ain't just going to tell me that you're ready and willing. And then here comes the next question. What top 3 emotions come to mind when you think about your business and why? Not only are you going to tell me what the top 3 emotions are, but you're going to tell me why. Talk to me. Talk to me. Let's engage. So that was that part. So everybody that was in the group by now, they answered those questions and were now resonant, appropriate, all of that for the group that they were going to participate in. So the next thing I said in the blog is my greatest revelation and insight and therefore impact came when I implemented the following. I'm telling you guys, I went to sleep one night and so part of what I'm saying in here came from there, but the other part came from a video or something that I came upon. And it happened right when I needed it to. But I started to understand the exact flow of how the group was going to go. So my greatest revelation and insight and therefore impact came when I implemented the following: providing a group timeline. Ding, 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 ding. I knew with all my being, this was a game changer, providing a group timeline. I did not know that when I first came up with the idea of the group. A timeline. We need a timeline. This is not just going to go on and on and on and on, just for the sake of going on and on and on. Some people, there might be a lot of people out there right now who have created Facebook groups who did not intend for that group to keep just going on and on, all because they just didn't know they were supposed to provide a timeline. Just because they didn't know that they needed to think with the end in mind to begin with. Just because they didn't know that they should have assessed their own personal energy. We're going to talk about these things on this channel. They should have assessed their own personal ability, energy, availability, all of these things, and assess what they were able to give to something to begin with. This is thinking with the end in mind, and then taking it from there. Not just getting excited about something, throwing it up in the air and seeing what happens type of thing. So, like I said, there could be a great deal of people out there right now still not excited by, something that they implemented, all because they didn't think with the end in mind to begin with. So anyway, so providing a timeline is one of the things that caused me, that was one of my greatest revelations and insights, and therefore allowed me to impact the group more strategically and effectively. Providing a group timeline. So the first day I opened the group, there was no timeline. It was by divine intervention and guidance that I saw something, I'm not even sure what it was, that spelled out how important it is to provide a timeline, a start and a finish. It was the best thing I could have done for myself, being the facilitator of the group, I was able to maintain enthusiasm, focus, and keep the group on track, knowing what my ultimate goal was. The next thing, and this is not in any particular order, providing a visual start and finish using symbols. Humanity's first language. Humanity's first language is symbols. Okay. And I said, what the hell is she talking about? You might ask. Well, I used a simple arrow as the symbol that would keep the group on track. So now that I had a timeline, okay, it turned out that timeline for me was going to be 8 weeks. I came up with 8 weeks because I thought that's a reasonable time frame for somebody to work a project if they are doing it diligently, okay? And that'll bring me to another thing that we're going to talk about. But providing a visual start and finish using symbols. So what I did was I said, okay, 8 weeks is reasonable. And all I did was use the little arrows. If you look at your keyboard, them little arrows on the keyboard, that's all I used. I used 8 of them, 8 of those. And I said, you are here, and victory, as you define it, is here. And in between you are here and victory, as you define it, were 8 arrows. And every week I took an arrow away. 7 weeks, so 7 arrows. Took an arrow away. 6 weeks, 6 arrows, and so on. This automatically, unconsciously. So it worked on a conscious level because they saw the arrows, and it worked on an unconscious level because now you understood, you built into yourself as a person who was in that group, the time frame that was being provided, that you saw visually. So I didn't have to keep, I mean, I kept putting it right, before their eyes, but I didn't have to keep doing that because it built an inherent buy-in to the 8 weeks and momentum, inspiration, like, oh shoot, I gotta keep it moving. This group is not playing. You know what I mean? So that's it. It did a lot. It was huge. So I used the number of arrows representing the number of weeks the group would remain open, subtracting an arrow per week to symbolize the number of weeks left. This seemingly small implementation created inherent buy-in, built-in accountability, and inspired momentum, okay? Choose a particular project or process and introduce it to the group. Another ding, 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 important, relevant, had to be done. This is how we're going to understand that we're impacting something. We are not here. We were not there in the group to work on your entire business. Where do they do that at? Where they work on an entire business in 8 weeks? Where they do that at? So I asked the members to choose a project or a process that they deemed, because you know your business, I don't know your business, you know your business, that you deemed as a project or process that you would be able to work on and see results in a reasonable 8-week time frame, or at least you would see these results. And yeah, that's it. That's it. You were to choose a project and introduce it. So there was nothing left to chance in this group. Wasn't about, oh, well, choose a project in your mind and keep it in your mind and don't tell us about it in the group. This was a participative group. And we needed to know what your project was, first of all, so we knew you chose one. Second of all, to keep you accountable. Third of all, to keep you focused. Fourth of all, so that you could continue to think about what emotional state you are currently in as related to that particular project and process, not your entire business, that particular project and process. This is how we're able to make things measurable. Being a part of business owners' overwhelm is believing they have to do everything. But what I understood about the women service-based business owners, what I understood about working the process in this way was that what they understood about this one thing was going to help them to understand way more than one thing as they were working this whole process and working with me in that group. One project, we have a timeline, we have a symbol reflecting where you are right now and victory as you define it. Defining what that victory is inherently within that. So it's I said victory as you define it so that you could define what victory was going to be for you, because that's what you're working toward. You're not just saying, oh, I want to see success in this. Well, what does that mean? Success in this particular project, and when you use that word victory or success, what does that mean? What's happening now? You are here, and what does success mean to you or victory mean to you? So now you're bringing it more and more and more and more in. And we're going to be able to measure or gauge our emotions with regard to that particular thing and not be overwhelmed by doing everything. Okay. And of course, it helped me too. Okay. So I said there was no way in hell you were going to be in this group and not get as near as possible to completing your project. If you did, it was completely on you. And that was the truth. Okay. Each participant chose one project they felt they could realistically complete in 8 weeks. So that's that. And I was always asking, how does it make you feel when types of questions as related when I saw the had an understanding of everybody's projects and all of that. I would always be asking, always keeping that question in front of the group. How does it make you feel when I ask this? Okay, type of questions, looking to measure shifts in perspective of group members. This specific type of question caused the women in the group to remain aware of why they were in the group to begin with, and to always be paying attention to the deeper communication of their emotions and how to leverage their emotions to impact their business. Weekly Facebook Lives. This one's pretty self-explanatory or easy. If I noticed a pattern of discussion or questions in the group, because as the group started to move forward, the members began to engage with one another, and I would start to see patterns and things like that. So I would create a Facebook Live to respond and use as a teaching opportunity. This worked wonderfully and kept me from having to repeat myself about anything being asked, considered, or discussed. And then I didn't know I was going to do this. Again, I didn't know. So you got to be able to dance like a ballerina, pivot, dance. I didn't know I was going to do this until I was in the midst of the group, but I created something called the love seat. So at that time on television and different shows, people kept getting put in the hot seat on these shows. And I'm like, why does seat got to be a hot seat? Why can't it be a love seat? So I said, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do in my group. I'm going to create a love seat, because this would be an opportunity for a woman in the group, and it would be public. And I did it by free conferencing calls. So we didn't do it on video. We did it by audio, a phone call, and I was able to provide a link to the video chat. And what I would do is, based on the project that the woman, the professional woman was working on, whoever wanted to be in the hot seat. So I would say, who wants to, or hot seat, no hot seat, love seat. Who wants to get in the love seat? And I explained what the love seat was, that it would give that business owner an opportunity to be coached by me one-on-one. They would get even deeper understanding into their telling me their emotional state of being as related to their project, me extracting the clues that emotion was giving her and us, and what those clues were actually speaking and communicating to that woman, and how to utilize that emotion as part of their navigation system to work for them now and not against them. So that's what the love seat was. It was the exact thing I was doing in the group, except instead of doing it by posts, I was doing it by coaching one-on-one with that person. And then if you signed up to the Facebook group, or excuse me, signed up to my email list, I provided a copy of the audio to whomever was on that list. So that was your incentive to sign up to the email list, so that you wouldn't miss the important communication and things like that you needed to know to keep you on track as a business owner. Strategy, and more strategy. So as members shared their specific projects, I provided ideas, business coaching, so they could gain momentum more rapidly online. Because so many of the women, although they were in the online space, I had been online longer and have a lot of value to share in that regard. So as I saw, different women, saying whatever they were saying, if I could offer something to help them to gain momentum, I did that throughout the entire time. So I said, I'm sure there's more, and I will update this blog as I revisit the archived Leverage Your Pain group. And in case you didn't notice what I just shared about the group being archived, it's another brilliant resource. Your group is yours. Do not delete your groups unless there's a damn good reason for you to delete the group. Instead, archive it. Leverage Your Pain is a group from years ago. However, I'm able to continue to access it whenever I want to. I would not have been able to write this blog if I had not archived that group. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to write the blog. I wouldn't, instead of having to try to remember how the process went, I'm able to go right into that archive group and witness the transformation, the day one to the end, what was happening, things I may have forgotten, all of this. I am able to continue to access because I archived the group. And it is a source, it's a resource to me. It's a source of data collection for me, and continues. It's the gift that keeps on giving if you don't delete it. So I wanted to share some of the testimonials and comments that were given unsolicited in the group, and I provided it on the blog. So one says, Lisa, since I've been a fan of yours, I have begun to allow my emotions to give me clues on getting more focused in my business and tap into the needs of my clients. I allowed my anxiety to lead me, my business, actually my life, but with no rewards. Leverage Your Pain is an outstanding tool for businesses everywhere. I'm more confident now that I'm understanding that my emotions are my GPS to success. Wow. What a revelation, Lisa. You've helped me find my GPS to success. Thank you. And I hope others are being blessed as I am. And that's from Erica S., Hair Angel salon owner. Next testimonial says, so happy to be here and part of another group spearheaded by you, Tina R. Travel Made Easy by Tina. Tina was in another membership that I had created. This was not a membership. This was a beta testing launch type of thing. So there was no charge for this one, but she was in a membership that I had previously created. And I think that membership lasted for a little over a year. It's how I learned from that membership that I needed to put a time frame on the Leverage Your Pain group. A testimonial about the love seat. The love seat. Oh my goodness. To say that this wonderful chat was motivating is an understatement. Lisa has helped me so much to realize that pain is there to help me to ask the right questions and to understand that I already have the answers. I now know how to use my pain as my motivator to move forward in my business. No more putting myself on the shelf and second guessing. Thank you so much, Lisa Scott. Thanks so much for starting this group. I am feeling more hopeful and looking forward to the future. Rebecca R. Rebecca R is the person that had a website for some time. I don't know how long, but she had not published it. And she made handmade soaps, and she got her first sales online, and her first 5 bars. She sold 5 bars of soap once she published that website by working in the Leverage Your Pain group. So first ever sales online and first sales of her handmade soap, sold 5 bars as soon as she opened the website and started telling people about the soap. Woo! Another testimonial says, I can tell already this group will have me laser focused in no time. Lisa B, certified wellness counselor, certified personal trainer, co-owner of Alkaline Us Juice Bar. And my next testimonial says, Lisa Scott, this is divine instruction on how to organize and harness the power of the brain through any of life's undertaking. Being transparent, I have been like a wild woman trying to get all the ideas or assignments, so to speak, that have been given to me in this lifetime completed. That overwhelmed feeling had me stuck. Yep, but no more. Sister, you are helping me so much. You laid out the fundamentals like the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. Love you for that, girl. I prayed for organization maybe 2, 3 times over the last 2 weeks, being that I am more visionary and see ideas all day long. You are an answer to a prayer. I want you to know that. I needed the structure to birth them. You are helping. You are amazing. This is the calm that I needed. God bless you. Melissa C., Reiki practitioner, spiritual healer, and teacher. Feeling focused, the weight seems to be lifted. Surprising how that works when intentions are specific. This is from Nietzsche in Entrepreneur. And the last testimonial that I shared says, I'm always recommending that my clients speak and live their truth. This is a nice reminder for me to do that as well. Excuse me. Ariel C., energy healer and spiritual counselor, owner of Crystal Cognizance LLC. And then just a little recap of the article, and then we'll end this video. And of course, I'll be back for more and more and more and more. A recap of the revelation and insights, provide a timeline, because this builds inherent accountability. Use symbols as visuals. Symbols are humanity's first language. Choose one project. It allows for reasonable and manageable completion. And to be able to gauge and measure whether you've actually impacted something. Always remind the group why they're there. A group can take you off track if you let it. Don't let it. Weekly Facebook Lives, used as a teaching opportunity to answer repeated questions and discussions. And the love seat was a bonus. which was an opportunity for community members to see or hear you in action, read your coaching style, and more importantly, to assist to solve a current problem. The Leverage Your Pain Facebook group was not only impactful during its 8-week existence, but the women who were part of this group, who I've heard from a couple of members years later, how pivotal Leverage Your Pain was in their confidence, personal power, and achievement to better service-based business owners by first being better for themselves. So I proved it, and I say, I hope you find this resource valuable in helping you to create your goal-oriented Facebook group. The end of that blog post. The blog post again is called How to Create a Successful Goal-Oriented Facebook Group. So I wanted to start this page with value, value, value. If you have a Facebook group that you're trying to get on track, if the Facebook group has gotten off track, if it never was on track, if you didn't know it needed a track, I'm hoping that by my reading this blog post to you and sharing this valuable resource with you, that you'll be able to utilize, if not some, all of what I have shared with you. And please feel free to say where you got it from, okay? Don't be afraid to tell people where you get stuff from. Because you needed help or assistance doesn't make you weak or appear like you don't know what's going on. If you needed help with something, you needed help, and here's where you got it, okay? I will tell a person in a minute where I've gotten something from, an idea, a thought, this or that, whatever. Give people credit where credit is due. And again, here on this channel, the Embodiment Room, I am talking to, I like this phrase, complementary and healing arts practitioners. I'm talking to women service-based business owners and women who are looking to pivot their life and lifestyle. I'm talking to all of those groups of people here on this channel in some way, shape, or form, sharing my experiences, lessons, insights, mistakes. We're going to have fun. We're going to have value. We're going to cry. We're going to grow. We're going to talk about manifesting, transformation, human design, psyche. We're going to be talking about all kind of stuff here on this channel. So I want you to join me on this journey that I don't know quite what it looks like yet. And I don't care that I don't know. But what I do know is that at this stage in my life, I am looking to pour out as much as is reasonable for me to pour out on this channel. Not showing up in some perfected state, but to share with you what I have learned over the years. And that's why I started with this post. And I'm looking forward to you subscribing, me getting to know you, and to the next video, which I don't even know yet what it's going to be about. But I'm looking forward to getting to know you here in the Embodiment Room. See you next time.